Mackenzie Johnston with Cattle News Central, bringing you your March 23rd cattle industry headlines, brought to you by AgRisk Advisors. They provide risk management programs to livestock producers all across the West. Whether you are concerned about price or weather risk, AgRisk Advisors are here to help. With current day market fluctuations, you and I both know there is nothing more important than locking in a price floor on your cattle. So if you would like to learn more about an LRP, go ahead and reach out to an advisor today. Also sponsored by American Beef Producer Magazine. They offer in-depth articles on a wide variety of topics within our industry. They feature award-winning photography and so much more within their publication. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about the magazine, maybe check out some of their recent issues, click on the American Beef Producer link above in the caption. That will take you over to their Facebook page where you can do all of that. American Beef Producer Magazine, guiding beef producers for over 25 years. And finally, I would like to welcome a new sponsor to the update, Camo Cattle Company. They are a guest consignor of the 18th annual Buy the Beef Bull Sale hosted by JAS Red Angus. This sale is going to be on April 5th, and it's going to be up in Neepawa, Manitoba. They're going to be offering some of the best Red Angus bulls around. These bulls are the right kind. They're stout, hairy, and good-footed. They are also bred and fed to go out and work. If you would like to learn a little bit more about Camo Cattle Company or check out the sale catalog, head on over to camocattle.ca. The Wall Street Journal recently published an article featuring Sustainable Beef LLC. That is the processing plant down in North Platte, Nebraska, that is in the works of being built. This plant, as we've discussed in recent updates, it is owned and it will be operated by local ranchers and feedlot owners. It's all local, which is fantastic. And then we've also discussed that the ground for this plant is expected to be broke this spring, and it is slated to cost somewhere right around $325 million. So from 2019 to 2021, the average price for live cattle increased 5%, according to USDA data. During the same time period, the average price of boxed beef increased 26%. These numbers are just a few examples, these numbers are just an example of why the co-founders of Sustainable Beef have come together to take back control. Essentially, they're tired of just settling for what the packer is offering. They don't want to just go along with the status quo anymore. There have been cattlemen throughout the industry that have called on Washington to step in and tighten antitrust rules for the big four meat packers. But as we have all seen, nothing has happened, and I wouldn't expect anything to happen anytime soon. President Biden called attention to this situation with the big four meat packers during his 2022 State of the Union address. We can all remember that. But that wasn't the first time that he's called out the packers. Numerous times since he has taken office, he has accused the packers of inflating meat prices at the meat counter and robbing cattlemen of a fair market. In response to these accusations, JBS said their company acts in good faith with its producer partners and customers in full compliance with all regulations. The meat giant remains focused on investing in the long-term success of the U.S. beef industry and American family farms. According to officials with the big four packers, processing plants continue to deal with worker shortages, so they haven't been able to buy and process as many cattle, reducing demand for livestock and driving prices lower for cattle producers. These factors have led to decreased supply of beef at the meat counter, which along with phenomenal demand has resulted in sky-high beef prices for consumers. Through the years, the industry has watched cattlemen come together and attempt to build various packing plants. However, very few have been successful. These plants haven't been able to keep their costs low because they don't have the economies of scale to price their meat competitively like the big four do, according to Bill Rupp, a Sustainable Beef board member. Rupp has been involved with the development of numerous meat processing plant projects, but only Sustainable Beef seems viable, he said. Over the last 2 years, raising cattle has been mostly a losing game for almost all ranchers. If you look at research from Iowa State University from March of 2020 through December of 2021, Iowa cattle feeders have only had 5 months where they have been profitable. University research also shows in the past 20 years, Iowa cattle producers lost an average of $18.11 per head. And I'm sure if we were to dig up research in other states, whether it be Nebraska, Oklahoma, Kansas, you name it, we would find similar results. There's no doubt about it. It's pretty much known far and wide that cattlemen, they haven't had profitable years strung together in quite a while. While producers continue to lose money, constraints in the industry have set the packers up to make bank. The U.S. cattle herd grew by about 6 million head to 95 million head between 2014 and 2019. We all remember that growth. At the same time, slaughtering plants, they did not expand their capacity, so the packers are now sitting in the driver's seat, for a lack of a better term. So a quick look at packers' profits over the past few years. In 2021, Tyson's meat sales more than doubled from the year before, and profit margins for the company increased from 10% to 18%. Through the first 9 months of 2021, JBS's U.S. beef business increased 28% compared to the first 9 months of 2020. And finally, Cargill's 2021 sales grew 17% to $134.4 billion between 2020 and 2021. All of these facts are just more reasons why the folks involved with sustainable beef have taken matters into their own hands, why they have essentially taken the risk and stepped out there to see if they can make a change, make things better for themselves, for their families, for those in the industry. Of course, building and developing this processing facility is not a walk in the park. Sustainable beef needs to recruit about 800 workers during a time when our nation is dealing with a pretty significant labor shortage. Additionally, North Platte has an unemployment rate of about only 2%, but there will be perks to working for sustainable beef. So if you're looking for a job, I know where you can go. The processing plant will provide a more spacious workplace compared to other facilities. There won't be night shifts, and workers' pay will start at $50,000 a year. According to the Labor Department, the average annual wage for such workers was $31,210 back in May of 2020. Founders of Sustainable Beef say they will keep costs down with new technology, including artificial intelligence-enabled systems that can track how efficient each worker is at their job and which ones need additional training. When the plant was first introduced, it was estimated that it would cost right around $236 million. But as I said at the beginning of this update, that price, the cost of this plant, it has increased about $100 million because, as we all know, the cost of everything has just shot through the roof. Founders of the facility have raised about $150 million and will borrow the rest to meet the startup cost. They have contacted the USDA about potential funding, but the White House's plan targets plants with fewer than 500 employees. Government support for startup meat plants is important if the Biden administration wants to give the big packers real competition, said Trey Wasserberger. I've said it before, and I will say it again. It is great. I commend everyone involved with Sustainable Beef LLC, and not just Sustainable Beef, anyone across the United States that has dove into a packing plant in the past few years. We all see how we need to increase capacity. We need to increase competition. We need to take this matter into our own hands because, sitting around waiting for the government to come save you, it's not going to happen. An organization isn't going to save you either. I, like many others, of course, I think it'd be great if the government would step up and enforce antitrust laws. I would love to see more negotiated cash trade. I'm in the same boat with all of that, but at some point you have to look at reality and look at, maybe we should take things into our own hands. And it's great that these individuals have done this. And it's incredibly disheartening to see others in the industry talk badly about this situation. And I don't know if it's because people are jealous or if they weren't included. And I understand not all of us have an opportunity like this, like Sustainable Beef, but we have to be happy for other people that are doing good things in our industry. They're making a difference. And saying bad things about a great project like this, it's really sad and disappointing, and I think it speaks more to the individual than anything. Because again, all these guys, it's a risk. It's a definite risk. Like I said earlier, very few plants that have started up by cattlemen, like this one. I'm sure they've been smaller. I haven't kept a tab on all of those over recent years, but a lot of them haven't been successful. The team behind Sustainable Beef is A+. I do know that. I've had many conversations with Trey Wasserberger about this. They're going to make it go, and I have all the faith in all of these guys. And I'm excited to see this come to fruition because, again, it'll help the whole industry. It will. There's no doubt about it. One last story before I let you guys go. U.S. News has reported that the bird flu has been discovered in Butler County, Nebraska, just east of where I live. It has been discovered in a flock of 570,000 chickens, and all those chickens will now be destroyed. That's all I've got for you guys this morning. I hope no one blew away yesterday. We had about probably 40-mile-per-hour winds, just sustained winds and gusts anywhere from 50 to 60 mile an hour. It was unreal. And again, it would sure be great to catch some rain. I hope some of you guys are getting rain out there. You guys have yourselves a wonderful day, and I'll catch you later.